Hello again and welcome to this video speculating about the nature of a possible ancient high civilization. Since ancient times there have been myths and legends about such a prehistoric civilization in existence for more than 13,000 years ago and then wiped out by cataclysmic floods and fires. Hints of a lost civilization are suggested in ancient flood myths, and cataclysmic disaster is a common theme in religious texts. Accounts of a devastating deluge can be found on Sumerian tablets, on Egyptian temple walls, in Plato's dialogues, and in the Bible. Some facts point towards a cosmic impact causing massive floods. Other facts suggest a massive outburst of solar flares and that burned the land. We do know that some of our ancestors were living in a hugely different environment. 19,000 years ago, when the ice sheets had started to melt, the seawater level was 140 meters below present, giving a large different geography in many areas. The cataclysmic disaster also led to climate changes and the extinction of the megafauna. Prehistoric man and woman would have been confronted with a completely different environment. The bow hunter in this picture experienced some spectacular creatures. A giant ground sloth feeding from a tree branch, a giant flightless terror bird, and a giant beaver in the background. Hunting alone would not have been a good idea, with many large predators lurking around. It's more likely that skilled hunting parties participated. Hunting-gatherers often acted in groups, setting traps and using large nets. In this hypothetical picture, people from a more developed civilization are conducting a hunting expedition. They ride on a domesticated mammoth, going in for the kill of a wounded rhinoceros. Was this a possibility? Are there any historical clues for what an alleged highly developed civilization would look like? The most detailed description is given by Plato in his dialogues about Atlantis. Plato is detailing the Atlantean city by the level of knowledge of his era. He gives us the layout of the city. Atlantis consisted of a central island, surrounded by 2 rings of land and 3 rings of water in between them. There are remains of many ancient megalithic structures that exhibit remarkable construction and engineering skills, which point to a higher level of technology than what has been suggested by established historians. Other evidence includes advanced stone cuttings, like in Pumapumpo, Bolivia, and enormous blocks like the Three Sisters in Baalbek, Lebanon. Many alternative researchers believe these sites are much older than their current datings. An interesting question is the level of development of these ancient civilizations. Was it as advanced as the Roman antiquity, with the concept of simple mechanics based on handcrafted pottery, cut wood, and blacksmith skills? Or was it some kind of Jules Verne society similar to the Victorian era, with a more advanced metallurgy and some level of higher science-based technology consisting of steamboats and airships? Maybe it was some kind of highly developed sci-fi technology with flying saucers and levitation technology. Other scenarios is a civilization with a highly developed level of consciousness. Such a culture would have developed what we can call consciousness technologies. Mental skills allow them to navigate the seas by sensing Earth's magnetic field, maybe communicating with animals such as dolphins, and use sound to manipulate gravity. Are there any clues provided by archaeological findings that can tell us more? Some anomalous objects are found suspected to be remnants of a higher technology, but unfortunately organic substances decompose and vanish over time. Stone, of course, is very durable, but left as the only remnants of a more advanced structure, an accurate interpretation can be hard to conduct. When walking close to running water, it's not unusual to encounter old industrial buildings left abandoned for 150 years or more. If exposed to the weather, most of the organic material would have eroded. Wooden structures would be gone and metals would have rusted away or been reused elsewhere. Only vague parts of a stone foundation would remain. It would be hard to recognize its original layout, even though your guess was it to be some kind of watermill. Now try to imagine this was the remaining structure of a 15,000-year-old building. This is 100 times longer, maybe a power plant or an industrial complex of some kind left from an advanced ancient civilization. Perhaps a structure that includes machinery, turbines, and all kinds of systems, once enclosed in a building structure. In this case, you wouldn't have a clue about the original purpose. Maybe your best conclusion would be a religious building for a ceremonial purpose. We are on an ongoing quest to uncover the mysteries of long-lost civilizations. What we will encounter may surprise us and greatly transform our view of the world. This topic and other research supporting the hypothesis of a forgotten ancient mother civilization is published on Amazon.com. Our first book, Tale of a Sunken City, contains illustrations and graphics at a unique level in this genre. It's also an introduction to alternative archaeology that introduces the reader to various theories in a clear and unbiased style. It's meant to be an introduction to the subject and can serve as an excellent textbook.